Imagine you find something worth a fortune that belongs to someone else, and they have no idea what it is. Do you tell them the truth, or do you trick them to keep the treasure for yourself? That is the central question in an ancient story called the Golden Plate. It is a Jataka tale, a very old story from the Buddha, used to show how our choices today shape what happens to us tomorrow. Our story begins long ago in a place called Seri, where two traveling salesmen lived. They sold pots, pans, and jewelry, and they agreed to divide the town so they could each visit different streets. Even though they did the same job, these two men were very different. One was greedy. He wanted everything for himself, no matter who he hurt. The other was honest. He believed in telling the truth, even when it was difficult. Both of these men are about to face the exact same opportunity. We are going to see how who they are on the inside decides where they end up. While walking through his part of town, the greedy salesman met a poor little girl. She saw his jewelry and begged her grandmother to buy her a bracelet, but the family had no money. The little girl had an idea. She found an old dark plate in their house that was covered in thick black soot. To them, it looked like a useless piece of trash. The grandmother decided to try a trade. She hoped she could give the salesman her old plate, and in return, he would give the little girl a simple bracelet. The greedy salesman came inside. The grandmother held out the dirty plate and asked if he would take it for just one bracelet. This dirty plate was the only thing of value the family owned. Because they didn't know what it was made of, they relied entirely on the salesman to be truthful with them. The salesman took the plate and scratched the bottom with a needle. To his surprise, he saw bright, shiny gold under the black dirt. This plate was worth more than all his jewelry combined. It was a treasure that could change someone's life. But he didn't want to help the family. He decided to trick them. He planned to lie about the plate so he could get it for almost nothing. He threw the plate on the ground and yelled that it was worthless. He walked away, thinking he would come back later when the family was even more desperate and would accept just a few cents for it. By trying to cheat them, the salesman walked away with nothing in his hands. He thought he was being clever, but he was actually leaving the plate behind for someone else to find. Soon after, the second salesman, the honest one, entered the same street. The grandmother invited him in and offered him the same black plate. When he saw the gold under the soot, he didn't try to hide it. He told the grandmother immediately that the plate was pure gold, and that he didn't even have enough money to pay her what it was really worth. This shows what happens when we choose to be fair. Instead of trying to take everything, the salesman made sure the exchange was equal for everyone. He gave the family all his pots, his pans, and all his money. He kept only 8 coins so he could pay for a boat to take him across the river to go home. The family was no longer poor, and the salesman had a golden plate. By being truthful, both sides ended up much better off than they were before. Later that day, the greedy salesman returned to the house. He was smiling, thinking he was about to get the gold for a tiny price. When the grandmother told him she had already traded the plate to a kind, honest man, the salesman exploded with anger. He realized his own trick had failed. He was so full of hatred and rage that he couldn't think straight. While he was suffering from his own anger, the honest salesman was enjoying a great result for his hard work. The honest man was already on the river, safely crossing to the other side. He was moving towards a successful future. The greedy salesman wasn't a victim of bad luck. His lies and his attempt to hurt a poor family were the reasons he lost everything. Think about these questions. Why did the first man lose the treasure? Why did the grandmother trust the second man? What would you do if you were in their shoes? You can practice being like the honest salesman every day. You show your character when you choose not to cheat on a test, or when you find a lost item and try to find the owner. Being fair also means showing respect to your parents and being a person your friends can always trust. This story shows us a truth that never changes. Being honest is the only way to build a life you're proud of. Telling the truth might not make you rich this very second, but it's the only way to earn trust and find success that actually lasts.